week.
It was crazy that it happened like literally right as soon as we left here last week.
Oh man, too. I think I ended the show talking about it.
Yeah,
Let's see
you're
if
like, watch out for it, and then like literally 10 minutes later.
I got some Joel Embiid rumors too that I want to spew on here that I've already spewed a stretch.
About Miami?
Well, Miami, I brought up to him 2 days. I said Miami or Brooklyn's where it'll be next year.
Oh my God. Do they even have money for him?
Oh yeah, all you have to do is move Dinwiddie. I mean, we'd have to move Dinwiddie, LeVert, Jared Allen, and probably some draft picks, which I would hate.
I think you do that 10 times out of 10.
But that house is already big.
Public House and Shamrock Liquors on University. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to start off this week, and it always seems like these guys are diametrically opposed, but with the Mookie Betts trade, I'm sure Rob was probably he almost kind of not predicted it, but he said it. Watch out for it. As soon as we left here last week, I think 10 minutes after we left, Mookie Betts got traded to the Dodgers. I have the trade. It was the Dodgers get Mookie Betts, David Price, and cash from the Red Sox. And Red Sox get Alex Verdugo, Jeter Downs, who is named after Derek Jeter, which that's just a fun fact. Connor Wong. Twins get Kenta Maeda and Jair Camargo. What was your overall? I know as a Yankee fan, you were probably happy about the trade, and I know Stretch was probably kind of pissed off. And just to get your macro opinion of what did you think about this trade?
I was really shocked the Red Sox only got that. Like Verdugo, and everyone talks about him in the Dodgers. I mean, he's a big prospect for the Dodgers, but you really thought May was going to be the next prospect involved with it too. Like I said, you're getting rid of Mookie Betts too, and he's in my top 3 of players between when it comes to Arenado, Trout, and Mookie. Those are the 3 top players in baseball, I think, right now. And you really look at the way they moved him. They didn't really get much for him, and I was kind of shocked about it too because you knew there were a lot of teams that would even do a rental. If that meant just because, like, baseball's not going to be like, oh, it's not like football where you have to trade someone and, oh, well, we got to pay him, so I don't know. Right. Baseball they'll do rentals. I mean, there are teams like the Dodgers. They did it with Harper. They did it with Machado. Not Harper. They did it with Machado, not Harper. They've gone out and they've went out after rentals before. I was kind of shocked they only got that in return, though. I think they kind of bit a little early. I thought they should have just let it play out and let it go on to the trade deadline if you had to.
Well, that's the thing, too, is on the Red Sox side of it, if all you're getting back is what they got back, and pretty much they got rid of David Price's contract, they got Verdugo, who's going to be a player for them for a while. I mean, that's pretty much what they got. But for what they got for him, it's almost like the Dodgers are saying, we're only giving you the price for a rental. Everyone's assuming they're going to re-sign him, and they're going to have the money to be able to do so, but the Dodgers are in a no-lose situation. If they don't wind up signing Mookie Betts to whatever the $400 million deal he's going to want is, what they gave up is commensurate with getting 1 year of Mookie Betts.
Realistically.
So if they do wind up...
They got another starter in David Price, too.
Yeah, and the Price thing is kind of secondary in the whole trade, but we were just talking off air about how I thought he had a pretty good season before he got hurt last year. And then he tried to play through an injury. He had like a cyst in his hand or his wrist or whatever it was. But before he had that injury, he was like 7-2. He had like a 3-something ERA. He was doing pretty well like at the All-Star break. So the Red Sox basically all they got was Verdugo back, and then they got a couple of other guys. But they got off the Price contract.
That's the thing in baseball trades, man. Very rarely when you talk about a baseball trade, you'll know exactly who these guys are right away. We won't hear about these guys in 2 or 3 years, realistically. Verdugo, maybe some of this year. We'll see him if you watch spring training. You'll watch the Red Sox and you'll see how Verdugo looks and see, because this spring training is going to kind of prove, is Verdugo worth it? It's the first really viewpoint you can get of Verdugo in his career going on a full spring training now. Like I said, they essentially didn't get enough, I thought, personally, out of Mookie Betts. I thought, like I said, let it tail on as long as you can, and you can find some teams, that would sell more for a rental.
So Red Sox fans, I think, have a right to be mad.
Oh, I
mean,
would be.
As much as nobody feels bad for like Boston fans, New England fans, all that kind of stuff, they have a right to be mad because what this basically was them not wanting to be in the luxury tax. But if they think that they didn't have the money to pay Mookie Betts anyways, which, I mean, you're the Red Sox, you should always find a way to have the money.
Yeah, they have the money to pay him. He was asking for a 12-year, $430. I mean,
But if you're going to give that contract to anybody, Mookie Betts is a fine enough player to give it to. Like, he's one of, like you said, the top 3 guys with Trout and Arenado where you give that money. But basically, this kind of goes back to Dave Dombrowski, and now it kind of makes it more clear why he got fired, is he put them in a position to, in their opinion, not have the money to sign Mookie Betts. So if they thought they couldn't sign him and they got something for him, credit to them, I guess.
I mean, they say that, but what do you think happens when you go after Chris Sale and David Price, and then you go after all these players that are just, JD Martinez? You're signing all these guys. I mean,
Nathan
someone's got to go.
Is making like a
Evaldi's making a good amount. I mean, someone's got to go.
So
and
I was confused why Dombrowski got fired, but now if you're looking at this Mookie Betts situation, it's almost because of that. He put them in this position by signing those other contracts.
Yeah, but he also put him in position to win a World Series with that roster too, because JD Martinez was the best hitter in baseball the year they won the World Series. Chris Sale was the best pitcher. Price had a great playoff that he finally won a playoff game. That was his first one of winning out there. I mean, I understand what you're saying there, but it's like it comes down to where I don't think it wasn't the money is the issue, and this is where my issue with baseball contracts are. No one's worth 12 years. There's not a player to play the game outside of maybe Barry Bonds that's been worth 12 years.
But in those contracts, you're not paying for all the 12 years. You're basically getting them in their prime, and then you're overpaying for the end.
That's the thing.
You're probably underpaying in the beginning and overpaying at the end.
We talked about this earlier with the football, and we were talking about quarterbacks. Guys don't want to do that anymore. That's why it's such a big deal now that these younger guys are being found more and more. Like Soto's, you're finding Soto's at 19 more often. Acuna's more often. You're finding Josh Bell's more often. These young guys that can hit and that can run in there, and it's almost like you can find 3 guys that can not duplicate exactly what he does, but equal out what he does. While you can still find 2 more pitchers if you need them.
Yeah, it's the whole Moneyball thing where they're trying to find a couple of guys for less than 12 years, $400 million to replace the production of Mookie Betts. But the whole thing with that too is I think there's value of having a guy like Mookie Betts and being like the face of your franchise and being there for his entire career, which if you just pay him the money, you ensure pretty much that he's going to be there for his whole career. And if you go back to it, when's the last time we saw a guy like this get traded?
Probably A-Rod, realistically.
But A-Rod was, I mean, what
A-Rod was, I mean, I understand people hate A-Rod, but A-Rod was the best player at the time when he got traded from Texas over to New York.
So that was a trade and not free agency?
Yeah, that was a trade. Yeah, they traded because he signed a 10-year deal over there for $300 million.
So how long ago was that? 15 years ago?
Yeah, I want to say 2004.
Yeah, that's
2002.
So this is something that doesn't.
Yeah, this isn't a consistent thing like you're saying. I mean, you can even look at it. A-Rod won no rings. He won one. He won one.
At the time of the trade.
Oh, he was still the better player than anyone Boston had produced at that time.
So yeah, if you're going back to that, I mean,
that was a Gold Glover.
Boston, I think, has a right. Boston, I think, has a right to be mad because
in Seattle.
Not only Mookie Betts is still relatively young, right? Was he 27?
Yeah, he's younger. I mean, I thought he was 26, 27. Yeah,
something like that. But either way, so I know as a Yankees fan, you're happy about that trade.
But also, I mean, it takes out another starting pitcher for them. Though New York didn't have much issues with David Price, I do think it would help out. I mean, obviously, with them losing a pitcher, you want to get as many teams out of the race as you can because the American League's looking like you got Houston, who's going to come out there, and they're going to try to prove everyone that they can win without cheating. You're going to have...
There's a lot of pressure on them now.
Yeah,
because if they go out there and win 85 games or something like that, then everyone's going to kind of point to it and say
if we buzz every time they lose, they really don't want to feel that many buzzes.
There's going to be stuff going on in the crowds with fans and making fun of all that kind of stuff. Why wouldn't if I was a fan, if I was going to an Astros game as an opposing fan, I would be banging on trash cans.
Oh yeah.
I'd try to sneak a trash can lid in or something, just bang on it.
These guys are gonna get killed all year, and it's gonna be great to see. But between the American League, I mean the Twins, the Indians, the Astros, the Red Sox. I mean, taking a Red Sox team, which I don't think they'll be completely taken out of it. Obviously, we'll see what happens this year, who's healthy, who's not. I mean, it's based on the long season, so you never know what's going to happen. But realistically, I can see Boston falling down a little bit, more than.
I know you're already going to pick the Yankees to win.
Oh yeah, I mean that's. I mean, we just signed Garrett Cole. I hope we win the World Series. Realistically, if we don't win the World Series, it's a failed season. That's the joy of being a Yankee fan, though.
The joy and the misery, because
it's an expect. You can't sign Garrett Cole with the team we have right now and say, okay, James Paxton's our number 2 guy, and they said he's going to miss about 3-4 months, but they're fine. That's how New York feels about it. They're like, oh, we'll be fine.
So that's where I wanted to go from there. How do you think that this changes this season? Not looking ahead to if he gets re-signed with LA, but how do you think that changes the odds as far as the Dodgers being the favorite? In their
I think the Dodgers going to be. I think the Dodgers going to be the favorite, and they're going to be a clear. I mean, they're going to be labeled a strong favorite, and I think at this point you eventually got to sign somebody.
Because Price is going to be what in their rotation now? Would you think?
Price should be 2, if not 3, because I don't see him jumping over Kershaw immediately. Because Kershaw is Kershaw, and Rich Hill's still
regular
there.
Season Kershaw. Yeah. So you go. It'll be interesting for the postseason too, because Price as much as if he can make it through the season healthy, Price has been better than Kershaw in the playoffs. Like, you can't deny that.
I mean, arguably, though, because David Price doesn't have a strong playoff. Like, outside that World Series run, he didn't win a playoff game his whole career.
I mean, I remember him being pretty good for Detroit in the playoffs. I mean, I know we wound up getting swept, but
I mean, he wasn't like the same that they weren't winning games. I mean, that Detroit team fell apart in the playoffs too, like during the World Series time. But when you look at when you look at that rotation, because he should be 2, because Rich Hill's in Minnesota now, but he should be realistically 2. May would be 3. I mean, you would look at a team that you're like, you have a winning personality. Mookie's 1. David Price is 1, so that's just going to help out the Dodgers with trying to find a winning culture in there. Now you have, with Manny Machado in there. I mean, not Manny Machado. With Seager coming back and him being healthy all year, it's gonna be a better theme for them. Jock is not leaving. That deal didn't get finalized with the Angels, so Jock Peterson's staying put. So you have that bat now on top of it.
Talk about a fan base being mad and look at the Red Sox for not wanting to pay Mookie Betts, which was kind of what this came down to. And then look, if you're LA, like they're doing everything in their power.
They don't care about luxury tax.
Everything in their power to win.
They've had the highest payroll for like the past 7 years.
Yeah, and it hasn't worked out. But I mean, if you're a fan of that team, how can you not love what they're doing every single year, like trying to get better and win?
I just feel like, when you watch the Dodgers, like they're trying to get better, but more and more you just see they consistently get rid of their prospects. They're losing more of their guys, their young guys, and eventually you got to pay these guys. What really killed Boston and trying to keep Mookie was between JD and Mookie. But JD
I would have gone with Mookie Betts, though.
You can't when a player has a full no-trade clause, and he's a lifelong Boston fan. I mean, it's just like Stanton. The Yankees aren't going to be able to move Stanton by any time. And it's just with these players have full no-trade clauses, that's why Stanton went to New York. He said no to St. Louis, said no to the Giants. They go over to New York, and he says yes to them. It's like if you're not trading these guys to contenders or to a team they want to be in, they just say no, and that's it. The trade talk's over. Ellsbury, that was a big problem with Ellsbury. We couldn't trade him anywhere because of that reason.
So look at this. This is the projected 2020 lineup for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager. Just the top 5. Corey Seager has the lowest OPS of all of them with 831. Everybody else is over 900 for OPS. So it's gonna be insane.
I mean, the division sucks too, so that helps them out a lot.
Yeah, I'm just saying
they're
you could pretty much pencil them into the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like every year.
If you couldn't already before, you can now.
When you have the Giants, who is a crowd of nobody. Arizona's lost a lot. You look at over there in San Diego, that's just, they're not going to be ready to contend right away. I think the NL West they're going to run through pretty quickly. And then you're going to look at the NL Central. Last year I thought St. Louis would win the division, but it looks like this year you don't know what's going to come out of that. I mean, is Chris Bryant leaving Chicago? Where's he going to go? What are they going to get for him? And there's a lot of questions. I think the Braves can be a big contender, but the Braves now have to add on with their team. They have to go get somebody because the Braves look like they were going to be up-and-comers, winning 100-plus games last year, going into the National League. But when you don't have that next player, like Arenado is going to be probably on the big trade talk for the Atlanta Braves. Arenado is going to be huge talks right now with a lot of teams if Colorado can't get going by the All-Star break. Because same thing with Texas and A-Rod. When you sign these 300 million 10-year deals or these $400 million 12-year deals, and your team's not good in the first 2 or 3 years of that, you're losing a lot. You're wasting a lot of money into one player. I know it sounds like it's crazy because it's one really good player, but at the end of the day, the goal is to win a championship, not to like as a fan, you want to win championships, not say you have this great
Especially
player.
A Yankees fan.
Yeah, I mean that's just like
as a Tigers fan, I just want to see some kind of players.
Yeah, I mean it's like that's just like the fan base is where they're at. Like you don't want to any sports fan, you don't want to be like, oh well, we have like the best player, but we have no championships to prove for it. You're Oklahoma City Thunder, similar to that. I mean, it's just like it doesn't. I mean, you don't want to be them. You want to be the Miami Heat.
So going from the Dodgers side of it, and we're penciling them in the playoffs and possibly even the World Series. Weird things happen in the baseball playoffs. But how would you look at Boston's season? And we can even ask Stretch this, like, if he wants to comment in. What would you expect from Boston this season? I mean, baseball's weird in a way that you can lose Mookie Betts, and it almost won't
look at the Nationals.
Yeah, you can. Well, I mean, that would be like their best case possible scenario. It's a little bit different scenario, but. Because he chose not to be there, and Harper we're talking about, and they offered him what was like a decently fair contract. But what would you look at as like Red Sox still make the playoffs? I mean, you're going to say wild card because obviously the Yankees are going to win the division. We don't need to watch, right? So
I mean, but it's just when you really look at that. I mean, That's going to be a question in that division right now because the Rays still know how to put on 90, 95 wins. I mean, the Rays I don't think are like going to ever contend against New York, but they find a way to get in. And then you have the Twins, and then you have obviously it's going to be probably Indians could be also in that list as well coming out of the Central. Then you have the Yankees, and then you have the Astros. Like that could be the 5 teams that get in. Like I said, the American League East is a very, very tough division to play in. You have multiple teams. Last year, Boston had the worst group out there. And even the year before, where Tampa wins 89 games, they don't make it. It's like it's tough to get 3 teams in. It could be that I think you see Boston missing out. But Boston also, it's not like Boston lost a good player, but they didn't lose their complete team. But them losing a pitcher and a consistent player out there and probably their best overall player, I think it hurts them a bit, and I think it can take them out of the playoffs. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs this year.
Well, the Red Sox also, I think it was today, named their manager. Was it Ron Roenick or Roenicky?
Bench coach, yeah.
However the hell you say it. I don't know. I've only seen like Jeremy Roenick with a similar name.
Jeremy Roenick. Coyotes, I like
Getting the
it.
Coyotes talk now.
97.
Football is officially over. We're talking about Jeremy Roenick.
Jesus Christ.
So
get off viewers, start talking hockey.
I don't know how that affects anything, but as far as the Red Sox in their offseason, losing Mookie Betts, you lose Alex Cora. I'm in the camp of managers are not like the most important thing as far as the baseball team is concerned, but it can't be you can't be happy with this offseason as a Red Sox fan.
I think it is more now than before because of the amount of shifts and the lineup adjustments you're making almost every game. It's very rare that you have the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the line anymore because they have all these. I mean, the analytics are pouring in left and right. Baseball probably has the most analytics out of all these major league sports, and that's why I think you're seeing bigger contracts become harder and harder to get. I mean, we just watched guys like Keuchel, guys like Kremble, and we watch all these guys just have to miss out. I mean, the only big free agent contracts that happened this year were for players that were big free agents, pretty much. I mean, Garrett Cole, guys like him. You're not going to see that anymore. We're going to see people like, Yu Darvish. There's going to be no more Yu Darvish nonsense where this idiot's making $95 million and hasn't had. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you're not going to see any more cries for help. You're going to see a lot more of these guys pushing out for top-notch, minor league prospects and trying to push into it. And that's what analytics have proven. We had guys like Luke Voigt. We have guys that are just coming out in New York. I mean, Gio Urshela, like guys that you just look at and you're like, huh? But they have tremendous seasons. And it's other teams have had a big on that, but I know New York was really big with the management. I was very critical on Boone his first year because I just didn't think he had the balls to be out there. Second year, he proved a lot more and said, he got his way in, worked with the lineup that was struggling left and right without Didi, without Stanton, without Judge, without Andujar, all these guys that were gone for a bit, without Severino all year, and got him going. So I think management, you got to really find a solid manager, and hopefully this guy's within the terms of baseball now, so that way he's buying into everything. Because that's what I feel like you have to have with managers. They have to buy into today's baseball.
And then
with OPS and all this.
To your point about the analytics and playing in the AL East, you have the Red Sox and Yankees who are willing to spend money most of the time. And then third place, mostly you're looking at the Rays, who they don't spend the money, but they're at like the top of the analytics community. They're pretty much a farm system for front office guys going to bigger market teams.
Exactly, yeah.
And everybody comes from the Rays, goes somewhere else. Same thing for
Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not talking about a division where it's just like you're gonna win the division or easily win the wild card even. What I'm looking at now has the Yankees as the favorite to win the World Series, 3.5 to 1. Dodgers right behind at 4 to 1, and then Astros are still 8 to 1.
Oh man, I'm looking at the. Is that the 33 to 1 of Boston?
Who's that? Boston is 33 to 1 now. Yeah.
Bless.
So they're to put it in perspective, Boston's there with the White Sox and the Reds and the Oakland A's.
Okay, that's fucking disrespectful.
And the Padres.
Reds?
That's just what it is. I mean,
I hate the Red Sox, but Jesus Christ, the Reds.
This is just what it is. It's odd shark. I don't know. So
I'm not upset with you. I'm just more upset the fact that they said they're the same. Like
the Padres.
Where are the Padres at? 40 to 1. Okay.
Well, 33 to 1. The same thing.
Oh God, dude, stop. That's so rude. That's so rude. Like they still have Chris Sale. They still have JD Martinez.
If you're interested in the Tigers at all, it's 250 to 1. So there might be a decent value play there.
Why don't you guys come out? Just come out prospects everywhere.
It's Orioles, Tigers, Royals, and Marlins all 250 to 1, which I think is like the highest.
Those three teams should just have guys at 19 starting, and just have these young guys. I don't care about that 1 year of arbitration they get to miss out on if they start too early.
If you combined all four of those teams, the Orioles, Tigers, Royals, and Marlins, and just made one super team, what would their odds be? If you got the
33 to 1.
30 to still be the Red Sox. Anything else as far as this trade goes? I mean, it was. I think next week I want to get more into it, and we can actually take some time over the week and look at doing next week like over-unders for like certain teams. You know, maybe who's going to win each division and stuff like that. We'll get more prepared and do something like that. But is there anything else that you had on this trade? I mean, I think it's a win for the Dodgers, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
Whether they re-sign him or not.
Yeah, it's a win for the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers got better. At the end of the day, they have David Price for the next couple of years. He's pitching the National League, which I think will help him out. It'll make it because the National League's easier to pitch in. There's no DH. You're not in the American League East anymore throwing. I think it's going to be great that he doesn't have to see New York 3-4 starts a year anymore. He doesn't have to see Tampa X amount of starts. Like he gets to go out. He's going to go through a division, like I said, it's a very bad division. I mean, the Giants, the Padres, the Cardinals. He's going to be able to run up and down these guys. I feel like. I think David Price is going to be a bigger winner in this and trade than a lot of other people are. And I think it's be a bigger winner if they have Price than Mookie if they don't sign, because I don't think they're going to sign Mookie full time. And they're going to have to. They still have to sign Seedog. They still have to go after Jock Peterson. They still going to get.
So you think they're not going to sign him?
I think it's going to be hard. I mean, it's going to be really hard to sign him. But I mean, I think that's the one team that has shown they don't care about luxury tax.
It'd be interesting if the Red Sox actually wound up signing him now.
It would. I mean, yeah.
To get something for him, give him up for a year, and then wind up signing him. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's just 12 years.
Obviously,
so the contract is pushed back another year. He's going to be 28. 28 to 12 years going to be 40. You're probably be paying him close to $50 million the last year or two of his contract.
If you win 1 or 2 World Series, like you're good.
I mean, especially in LA. Jesus Christ, they haven't won since like the 80s. Like if they win one, the contract's completely worth it for them. I just don't like 12 years on any player. That's insane to project someone's next 12 years. But I don't think there's an analytics team that can possibly do that.
I don't think there's any player that anyone, when they sign these contracts, like I said, I don't think there's anyone they're thinking about the 12th year. I think they're thinking about like the first 6 years.
Yeah, I mean that's why you have the Angels.
It's the same thing we were talking about with quarterbacks earlier, and it's they're thinking about the first 6 years, and then you just have to. That's just what if you want that player, you have to get it. So if you're not willing to give 12 years, you're never going to get any of these guys.
And
you better hope that you draft them or you get them before that.
But that's all sports, and I've said that earlier. I mean, I feel like a lot of these sports, outside of basketball, because it's 5 guys that you start on a roster, you typically carry about 13 on your team. Like you got to be smart with your scouting department, your front office department. It has to be the best there is, and that's what needs to be fine-tuned. Right? I understand people talk coaching staff, this and that, but you need to find talent consistently, and that's in baseball and football. So you're not just throwing money just to throw money. I did see that a pitcher is trying to sue the Astros
for
right
what,
now.
like lost wages or something like
that?
It's
because he said that game was because of the fact that he pitching against them made him get called down, and it ruined his career in baseball when he was in Toronto, I believe. It's a joke. I mean, it's like, yeah, dude, cash out all you can. I mean, I don't know. I think the guy's gonna lose his case. He's suing him for $31 million. It's a lot of money. He was according to his lawyer, that's the amount of money he would have made in another contract.
I guess. Does anyone even know who this guy is? What's his name or anything like that?
To be honest, I know
that.
he was in Toronto, so usually that means you're not worth a shit if you pitch. It's true, man. They have the last one to be worth anything went to Philly. He left Toronto. R.I.P. Holiday.
So getting away from baseball for a minute, I want to do a little bit on like the NBA trade deadline. Is there any Stroman? Yeah.
Dude, he's like, no, stop it. I am not talking about. He had 1 solid season, 2 solid seasons. He's like an inch taller than me. No.
Out of any of these deals, and we can go through a couple of them. We can go through a couple of them for the NBA. Is there any of these deals for the NBA trade deadline that you thought, then maybe this guy can help somebody in the playoffs?
Marcus Morris, man.
Marcus Morris is the first one that comes up.
The Morris deal was phenomenal for the Clippers.
So
he got molested, Ari Dickey.
Jesus. So the Clippers trade was Clippers get Marcus Morris and Isaiah Thomas, and the Knicks.
They waived him.
Who'd they waive?
Isaiah Thomas.
Really?
They waived him.
Isaiah Thomas got waived?
Oh, yeah, he got waived, dude. Like, this guy, it's great.
You don't think he could play, like, backup point guard minutes in the playoffs or anything like that?
No, dude, I don't, because he can't attack the rim. He struggles to shoot from far out.
For the backcourt, they still have Beverly and Lou
I like
Williams.
the Jay Crowder. The Jay Crowder to the Heat was solid.
Well, the Jay Crowder part, we'll get into that trade as well. But
Isaiah, no, man. I just don't like.
Well, like, obviously they didn't think so either because they waived him, which I didn't realize.
The Celtics broke him.
The Clippers got Marcus Morris, and then Knicks got Mo Harkless, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick via Detroit. So that might actually.
The Clippers got a professional. They got a guy that they have a team. This is a 4th guy now you can put on LeBron James. Like, they have a group of guys they can
Can you,
put.
though?
I mean, Marcus Morris he has played against LeBron James many times, actually. He's not like, here's the thing, I'm not saying Marcus Morris is going to go out there and hold him to 12 points or anything.
Just
but I'm going to say this.
Give Kawhi some rest for
so
going.
Kawhi, Paul George, I mean, I think this trade, because you look at the Lakers did nothing, and the Lakers needed to add more. I mean, they're your second best.
There's still the buyout market and everything
Yeah.
that could wind up happening.
And the buyout market's right now looking like J.R. Smith or
Tristan Thompson. Well, I guess they said Tristan Thompson's not getting bought out. Well, I was kind of surprised by that.
That's the thing. You don't need LeBron James' little old
LeBron
crew
stuff.
coming back. That was the thing I always knocked him for on this. And when I first got on the show with it, is like I knocked him on bringing his old friends everywhere he goes. J.R. Smith sucks. You don't need him. He literally cost you game 1 of an NBA Finals. Tristan Thompson, you begged for his contract extension. He's yet to ever live up to it. Leave it in Cleveland. Leave it alone. Leave these guys out. And they need to be focused on winning out. Darren Collinson looks like he's not coming out.
So you weren't surprised that the Lakers didn't trade for Kevin Love?
No, I was not. Dude. I was surprised a little bit, but like they didn't.
No,
want
I
to
was
go
kidding.
Kuzma.
I don't think that LeBron wants to play with Kevin Love.
Yeah, but he wants to play J.R. Smith. Like what?
I think you need guys like J.R. Smith to play with LeBron who are not like the guys who think that they're not, but they think they're on the
J.R.
same.
Smith should play the same amount of minutes you and I will play in a game.
But I'm saying you need guys to play with LeBron who are not like starstruck by playing with LeBron. You know, I think that's one of the things that he didn't like about the young Lakers core that they had is he felt that they also felt themselves that they were not on his level. J.R. Smith, reasonable or not, is not starstruck by LeBron.
If you want a guy that you don't know what you're always going to get, then go sign Dion Waiters. Because at least Dion Waiters.
He got waived. Speaking of guys who got waived, he got waived in that Memphis trade that we'll talk about next.
I think Dion Waiters going to the Lakers may be one of their better fits. I think Philadelphia is a possibility, but the problem is that's just another attitude and another ego you don't need in Philadelphia. I mean, him in Miami, I don't know what the hell happened with him in Miami. Because at one point he was calling it Waiters County, and then all of a sudden he goes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, honestly though, that's rough. It's like it's Broward. It's the Broward County to Miami.
Yeah,
realistically. Yeah, Wade County and Broward.
No Broward slander. I'm a Broward resident for my high school career. Look up the tapes. I was a blocking tight end. All right.
You see, there we go. That's what the NFL's missing again, man. Blocking tight ends.
They call it Fox County.
Hey, you go to XFL if you keep trading for another year, man. You could be a blocking tight end.
Hey, Cardale Jones, MVP.
Jesus Christ.
Did you watch any of the XFL?
I
Just on
did.
a quick side note, you didn't?
I did.
Oh yeah. Come on, it's football. We're gonna watch it. I mean,
no. I enjoyed watching past games that happened this season, like 3 seasons ago. But no, with the trade for the Clippers, I think the Clippers, what they did is they added another great player, they added another good defensive setting. I'm looking at the Clippers. I picked them to win this year. I'm strong on them still being the favorite, especially after this trade deadline. But I do look at someone like a Dion Waiters going to LA, and you could see him in a couple playoff games taking over, not a game, but like a quarter or a half, where he drops 15 within one of those two. I mean, Waiters is not a horrible player. He's just, I don't know what's up with him mentally. Miami this year did not work for him.
well, in Miami at least, he wasn't like fitting into what they were trying to do there.
They don't take gummies, that's why.
That too. Well, I mean that's a Miami thing by itself, but not as far as like the Heat goes. He basically from what I know about it, from listening to LeBatard's show and everything, and say what you will about him, but he knows the Heat and
he does. Yeah,
Pat Riley as well as anybody. You can say whatever you want about anything else that he talks about, but
I'll kill him on his Marlins takes left and right, but
that's all well and good. But as far as like the Heat, what he was saying is the whole Heat organization, the front office, Pat Riley, thought that Dion Waiters' rehab was like unprofessional.
Yeah.
Like he didn't try or anything like that. And then he was mad that he wasn't playing minutes. And it's like you have all these young guys.
Yeah,
you have Kendrick Nunn, you have Tyler Hero. It's like whose minutes is he gonna take? He's not gonna go in there for Dragic or anything like that. Winslow was running point for them some.
I think you really have to look at where you're looking at LA is when we're talking about the Lakers. There's going to be something you need to add. Now, I'm not saying if you get Dion Waiters, you're going to win a championship by any means, because I don't think Dion Waiters is going to change anything else. I think that,
You have XFL Fantasy League for
I
real?
hope not, dude. That's just weird.
I'm down. I mean, I was gonna say I'm in.
I'm going to load up receivers. Just receiver.
You got to go running back.
I'm going to go like 10 receivers my first 10 picks and just live off that and figure out who's, because I know eventually one of them will throw the ball 3 times.
Getting away from the Clippers, I mean, Marcus Morris, you can say what you want. Help him out a little bit. I don't think it was like a blockbuster move by any means.
I think it's the best move that was made all trade deadline. It was not a blockbuster this trade deadline.
I think with the Heat, and we'll get into that now, what the Heat did with getting Iguodala and Jay Crowder, I thought that was 2 QB league. There's only 6 quarterbacks, 8 quarterbacks.
I'm making the playoffs.
I'm still not trading with Rob. Either way.
Well, it takes 6 quarterbacks.
What was I saying about? So the
Iggy trade.
the Miami trade was, and I have to get like the specifics of what it was, but I believe it was Justice Winslow for Iguodala, and they got Jay Crowder as well. You know, people thought they were getting Gallinari too, which I thought they're not going to overtake the Bucks as far as the favorites in the East, but to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think is a realistic thing for the Heat right now.
They are. I mean, what the things they're doing right now is it's fun to watch. I'm not Mr. like everyone's talking about. I think I'm like Chase said here. Crowder was the guy to talk about. Everyone's talking about Iggy. I'm like, he didn't even look that great in the end of last year in Golden State. You can tell he hasn't played all year now.
No, he's rested though.
He's rested. He hasn't played. There's a big. Just because you're rested doesn't mean you're ready to go out there.
They got him for the playoffs.
Yeah, he's $15 million for 2 years, so they spent some money on him too.
I think it was a 2-year extension for 30.
Yeah, well, that's saying 15 a year.
So basically it was Iguodala, Jay Crowder, and Solomon Hill to the Heat. The Grizzlies get Justice Winslow, James Johnson, Deion Waiters, Gorgie Jang, and the Timberwolves get James Johnson. For the Grizzlies, I think it was a win, and we don't have to talk as much about them because they're not going to be any factor in the playoffs. But to get Justice Winslow for, they're not.
It's your boy, Morant, man. What's going on?
It's his rookie year. Give him a year.
Witness him.
But so you're going to have a guy like Justice Winslow who's still only like 24 or something like that. So that's better than anyone they were going to get for Iguodala. And for the Heat, I think it's not as much of a regular season move as it is a postseason move. Their defensive numbers haven't been great in the regular season, but when you're putting out a lineup in the playoffs against some of these teams they're going to have to play in, like Toronto probably, maybe Milwaukee, maybe Philadelphia.
I think it could be a Toronto, Philly.
You're putting out on, just think about it on defense, the numbers haven't been great so far, but if you're putting out there Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Justice Winslow, and Bam Adebayo, that's going to be pretty good to stop some wings like Siakam, to stop some of the guys like Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown or anything like that. So I think the Heat are trying to get better for the playoffs and also getting off of the Justice Winslow contract, which they weren't going to pay him anyways because a lot of people are saying that the Heat, and I mean everyone is, but the Heat are going to be trying to go hard after Antetokounmpo when it comes to 2021 offseason.
That's if they don't get Embiid next year, man.
Yeah,
Embiid this summer's a possibility.
Did you want to? So on Twitter, Joel Embiid said something like, what did he say on Twitter?
He said yesterday because talking about.
He did the Harvey Dent quote where it's like you either live long enough to see yourself become a villain or you die a hero or something like that.
And of course, Jimmy Butler came out and said, we embrace being villains.
How is that not tampering too, by the way?
There's a he said he knows of a place where they embrace of being villains.
Yeah, right? How is that not tampering? What the?
Hey, it's not. I don't think it's tampering necessarily. I don't think tampering in players is a thing. Tampering with owners is a thing.
It's definitely a thing. You're not allowed to do that.
Why? What's wrong with that?
So you can't, as a player, openly recruit other players.
You don't think these two are texting?
Yeah, but you can do it in private, but you can't do it in public
like that. He's not recruiting anyone.
Yes,
That's
he
not
is.
recruitment. He's just saying, I know a place where guys, I like what Jimmy did.
I don't even know if he's openly, whether he's openly recruiting him or not. I think he might just be fucking with the Sixers.
Oh, I mean, that could be a thing too.
Whether he thinks he's going to get him or not, because Udonis Haslem also said a thing about Jimmy Butler, and it seems the more that comes out that Jimmy Butler thinks that Ben Simmons is a bitch.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing. A lot of people have thought this about Ben Simmons.
Right. And what Udonis Haslem said earlier in the season, something about social media, which now everyone's reporting social media. I love it. It's just rumors on rumors. And Udonis Haslem said that Jimmy Butler is like a dog. If you put him with a bunch of cats, he's going to growl. But if you put him with a bunch of other dogs, he's going to be right at home.
Yeah.
Which he's talking about the Heat. And he's pretty much calling Ben Simmons a bitch, for lack of a better term.
And that's the thing. When I was happy that they came out and said, man, because it was Sunday I talked to Stretch. And I was saying a big thing that I can see happening is going to be Embiid going to either Miami or Brooklyn. And I said, because you're seeing all the talk about, at Philadelphia, I think they'd keep Ben Simmons over him because on numbers and on when Embiid's not playing, they do play better. Ben Simmons, the floor works better with Ben Simmons. They play better without Embiid. But the thing that kills them is the injury history too with Embiid. Is Embiid really? I think personally they should move it. I think Embiid's better than Ben, but I think you're going to move out Embiid, and that's going to be the big move this offseason. It's going to be the big summer move for a big trade. is he's going to be moved eventually at some point. Just like we could see a John Wall trade this upcoming summer.
Embiid seems like he's going to be like the next superstar that's not happy where he's at. But
I got to say no to that one, man.
Well, you're going to have to give up something for him.
Oh, no, yeah, you are. And that's the thing. I don't think Miami needs to give up anything, and they just need to play to their original plan and be in 2021.
Right. Yeah. So would you give up those guys now for a chance at Embiid?
I love Bam. I think Bam out of Kentucky was a great find for them. I think they got him in the middle, towards 17, 18, I believe they got him.
I think it was a little bit higher than that.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe
it was 13.
Yeah, 12, 13. Yeah, I believe.
But
right
I think it was
either
right outside or right at the end of the lottery. But it was a great pick. I mean, he looks like. The fact that we're even asking this question, that would you trade Hero and Bam Adebayo for Embiid, the Heat somehow find assets out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to them for always. And this is a thing with first round picks now. It's almost just like I'd rather my team just trade my first round picks, and that's as a Pistons fan where our first round picks are actually going to be worth something.
Yeah.
Like the Heat's first round picks are not going to be worth what they're getting back for them.
No, they're not. No.
So you can stockpile picks all you want.
I think when you.
Well, yeah. So Chase said go after Giannis. It is also funny that the Heat are able to retool with these assets, and the Knicks are never able to really do anything or get anything.
Looking for what's his face to be a head coach, man. Damn you, Pat. Right.
I miss him.
What's his face? They're looking at what's his face to be a head coach. It's a guy it's older guys, two older guys who are looking for the Knicks. They're looking for their head coach this upcoming season. It's two older guys, known guys too. I can't.
What if they get Calipari though? He could come. He was a World Wide West guy. So another thing that happened. Stretcher's shaking his head. You don't want Calipari?
No.
Why not?
He do shit for the Nets.
I don't know. Well, I guess.
It was also in the 90s, for God's sake. Come on.
So that was just a rumor that was out there. It was a guy named Leon Rose.
Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy and Tom Thibodeau. That's who they are looking to coach for you guys.
The Knicks?
This year. Yeah.
Why would anybody hire Tom Thibodeau? Why?
I'm looking over about Jeff Van Gundy.
Jeff Van Gundy is fine. Jeff or Stan Van Gundy would be fine.
I don't know about Stan. People like Stan a lot.
I like Stan Van Gundy.
And Stan could never get along with his players in the locker room either. There's always and it's not because I don't think he's the problem on that. I just think he's too tough for this generation of players. When you have guys like Karl-Anthony Towns, he's a bitch. Cat is. That's just his mentality. And you can get mad at any of us as normal people saying
Jimmy
it.
Butler even said so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. You get mad at me for saying it, but I saw you try to get into a Jimmy Butler. Didn't work out ever. So it's you know what? This guy's
Jim Van Gundy.
Jim Van.
Is that their dad or something? Just a made-up name?
Yeah.
Joe Van Gundy. Just give me a Gundy.
Mike Gundy?
Yeah, Mike Gundy? Yes.
He's a man. He's over 40, man.
He's a man. I hope he's coaching by the time he's 50 because he's got to do a press conference. I'm a bigger man. I'm 50.
60. That's what I want. I can't wait for right there.
I'm an old man. I'm 80.
So he saves his kids the retirement home, man. It's going to be great. What?
I'm dead. I'm 100. It's got to be on his card whenever he gets his eulogy or whatever, whenever they put it up there, it just says, I'm dead, I'm 100 or something.
Oh, it's got to be something within that. I mean, it's got to be something within that.
I was a man, I was 40.
Wait, how about
Mike Van Gundy?
How about D'Angelo Russell getting traded? Mike Gundy, dude. How about Russell getting traded again, though?
So I think...
This guy's not bad.
No. I think it worked out really well for...
Minnesota.
For Minnesota. I kind of liked it.
Golden State, though.
I kind of liked it for both teams, so...
Getting Wiggins helps them out. I'm not saying it makes them for this year better, but when Wiggins is your third option, Draymond Green's not your third option.
Well,
now.
He's going to be the fourth. I would still. I mean, option offensively.
Scoring, yeah. I would take.
Draymond his game is not scoring at this point.
No, that's why
he's not a good three-point shooter anymore.
You need Wiggins as your third option now.
He'll have more spacing than he's ever had. He'll be playing with the best teammates he's ever had clearly next year. And I think that the Warriors got a pick. Did the Warriors get the pick, or did they throw in the pick?
That's a good question, actually.
But if you're looking at Minnesota, Minnesota did this to me for one reason, is that they needed to do something to make Karl Towns happy. Whether he's under contract till 2023 or not, these guys now can force their way out. And if you're Minnesota, you do anything. People will either forget, or maybe I'm just making this up, and I like to say things like people forget. But people forget that 2 or 3 years ago, Karl Towns, before Antetokounmpo was on the scene, GMs voted him as the number one guy you'd want to start.
Oh yeah, he was 19 years old, and everyone was big on him.
He was in the same vein as as Embiid and as
People liked
Giannis
him more than
was.
Embiid first because his health history was better.
Right. He's not great on defense, admittedly, but as far as the league is going now, you want that position to be more of an offensive position.
But what's the shame still though? How's a 7-footer bad at defense? I mean, his wingspan is like 7'6".
Effort,
too.
I guess.
That's my problem when it comes to Cat. Like that's what it comes down to.
But then when you look at defensive type centers like Gobert, like I would rather have Cat than Gobert.
For the money
in today's NBA.
In today's NBA, I'd rather have Gobert, but have shooters around Gobert. Like I'm not saying Cat. Like I have a problem with Cat being one of the better players when he can't play defensively. When he can find guys that can shoot from anywhere. Oh yeah, no, it's true.
Draymond's gonna end up strangling Andrew Wiggins.
He almost killed D'Angelo Russell a couple times. Watching these guys play defense.
For Minnesota, they got like D'Angelo Russell is the better player in that trade. Andrew Wiggins is one of the bustier guys as far as being a bad number one.
Yeah,
pick.
he was a one and kind of in just a class. You're just like, damn, it just didn't.
And then
work
if you even
out.
want to look at that whole draft class, Jabari Parker, I don't even know where the hell he is now. I think he's like on the Hawks or something like that. Like people were calling him like Andrew Wiggins. They were calling Canadian LeBron, which I mean, I guess.
It's because he had backing from Kobe, and then he had like this and that going on. But Wiggins just didn't want it. Is what it came down to, is I think. But I mean, I do believe now the next big move.
The Kings. Jabari Parker's on the Kings.
Okay. The next big move.
He got traded for Dwayne Dedmon.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, so as bad as Wiggins has been, Jabari Parker's been that much worse.
I think
I know, right?
The big move that's going to happen also, I think that people may not happen right away, but I think it's bound to happen, is Devin Booker to the Timberwolves. These guys are
Kentucky.
It's just with Cat and Russell, the three of them all say, and Booker, the three of them said they're going to play together at some point in the NBA, and they're going to make sure of it. I think that
also kind of seems like tampering too.
Well, I mean, it is. It's just the league.
In the open
it's just the league. I mean, it's just what they're at now. I mean, you had Kyrie Irving basically saying, 3 months left. Yeah, I'm not going to be in Boston. I'll be in New York. Is where he was saying
after he had already said that he was going to resign in Boston.
Well, I mean, honestly, man, I'm glad he didn't, dude. Guy didn't deserve to be
for
in
you,
there.
I guess. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm excited to see how this goes next year for you. Because
I am, dude. I am.
Is Durant? We've talked about this before.
Durant's already shooting and running up and down court.
Is he supposed to start next season?
Yeah. He said that he was ready to come back for a playoff run this year when the season started, which realistically, time frame wise, makes more than enough sense. I mean, it's a 9-month injury, it'd be 10 months coming back.
But they shut that down.
There's
no way they could do that.
The GM and the owner shut that down. Said no, he's going to wait a whole year, which is right because Brooklyn's known for their training facilities and having some of the best rehab facilities in the whole NBA. So that's hopefully a thing. I don't want to.
I'll have to take your word for it on that. I haven't really read up on it.
It's one of the few things we were actually good at for a while, believe it or not. But it's the big reason why I'm not the biggest fan of us going after Embiid. I would love Embiid, but we don't need 3 guys with injury concerns, possibly. You know what I mean? You don't need a possible, because Kevin Durant having Achilles is an injury concern for the rest of his career now.
Yeah.
And then you have, we all know about Kyrie's knee. God knows about whether it's Joel Embiid's foot, his knee, his this or that. It's always something.
Like the all-injury team.
Yeah, you don't need, and that's a team that when you look at that and you pair the 3. I mean, you could get rid of Jared Allen, LeVert, and Dinwiddie and a couple draft picks and go get Joel Embiid. I think that'd be more than enough to go get Joel Embiid. But at the same time, Dinwiddie's a phenomenal player. I think it'd be very hard for us to get rid of Dinwiddie. I think LeVert, I wouldn't be opposed to trading LeVert because I don't think LeVert's going to have he's not going to have the impact that we wanted him to have with Kyrie and Durant on the floor next year, and then with Joe Harris on the floor, and then with Spencer Dinwiddie, even though LeVert did make the last cut of Kyrie's team that he scheduled out. The 6-7 guys will be on there next year. Good for him for doing that.
There was the 4-team trade where the Rockets got rid of Capella. I think they got better with Covington, but when it's going to come to the playoffs, like
who's going to play center?
They're playing PJ Tucker at the center.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
I watched it the other night and it worked. I forgot who they were playing, but
everything Mike D'Antoni does works in the regular season.
Right,
it just does.
And that's what I'm saying. And when things slow down in the playoffs,
even the Knicks worked for him in the regular season for a bit.
They're going to get out rebounded to death, but they're going to. I mean,
finished.
The trade was this. Let me pull it up. I had it here. So the Rockets got Jordan Bell and Robert Covington and a second-round pick from the Warriors. The picks don't. It's a 2024 second-round pick, so it's like nothing. The Hawks got Capella.
He may drop.
It'll be interesting to see with Capella with Trae Young the way that works out, because I think Capella's the kind of center that Trae Young needs.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves got Malik Beasley, who was really good from the Nuggets. Juan Hernan-Gomez, Evan Turner. I don't really care about that. And Jared.
There's a point people cared about Evan Turner. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, he went to Ohio State, so fuck him.
It's your boy.
No, I hate him. Him and D'Angelo Russell. I just remember them just killing me.
D'Lo.
Oh my God. And they got a 2020 first rounder, lottery protected from the Nets. The Timberwolves did. Nuggets get Gerald Green.
We're protecting our picks finally.
The Nuggets pretty much, I don't know what the hell this is, but Gerald Green, Keita Bates-Diop, Shabazz Napier, Noah Vonleh, and a first.
I feel like if you're doing a
round pick from the
4-team
Rockets.
trade, there's a lot of dumps of guys. You're just like, all right, let's just exchange this guy for this guy and move this guy for this cash and this pick for this dude.
From the Nuggets, Beasley and Hernan-Gomez were actually like decent. I just think that Beasley, I think, was going to be up for an extension and they weren't going to pay him. So that didn't really affect the Nuggets as far as like this year goes. It just kind of helped them for cap room and everything. But it'll be interesting to see, like we said with the Rockets, they're going to be playing PJ Tucker at center
Yeah, that's
a lot of
gonna
the time. I think he's like 6'8",
6'5".
6'5", something
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
like 6'5", 6'6". Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But I do like Covington for them. Jordan McRae, Shabazz Napier, Justin Patton. So we're getting down into these trades that don't really make a difference. One that I was happy about, the Pistons finally got away from Andre Drummond.
Yeah, man.
They traded him pretty much for nothing.
Cleveland, he wasn't happy with you guys.
Well, I mean, going from Detroit, probably the second worst city, to Cleveland, the first worst city.
Dude, just imagine, like,
just to live in. Like,
just imagine you tell Drummond, hey, you're being traded, okay, and he's probably thinking, okay, man, so
there's no way it could be worse.
All right,
like, oh my God, it just got worse.
You're going to Cleveland. It's like,
I get to play with
God.
Colin Sexton and Kevin Love.
Oh
and
man, poor guy.
Darius Garland, or whoever the hell else they
He'll
got.
get 15 and 15 still.
No, he'll get like 20 and 30. It's like, you want to have the guy who can get a double-double every single game for his entire career and never win anything? It's Andre Drummond. And I love the guy, don't get me wrong. Well, no, I don't.
I say you don't like him.
It's not that I don't, not as a person, but as a basketball player, like from coming into the, I don't know him as a person, but I know him as a basketball player. And you're never going to win anything with Drummond. I mean, can he help out? I mean, I'm sure, I guess the Rockets could use him because they kind of need a center, but nobody wants a guy who is just standing under there and getting 15, 20 rebounds, 20 easy points. Like, it doesn't win you anything.
No,
we didn't get, the only reason we traded him is because he had a player option next year for like $30 million. We have another forward that's like pretty decent. I think it's like Chris Wilde or something like that, who's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know if any of this stuff necessarily changed the landscape. We'll have to wait for the buyouts and everything to see what happened. But
Yeah, so the only move that I looked at that I thought could really, really push forward, I mean, it's not that I don't think Miami's going to push forward, but can I see Miami? Like, I think Miami should be, I mean, obviously they've been a lot better than I thought they were going to be this year, but I think Miami's going to still lose to if they play Milwaukee. They won't beat Milwaukee by any means. Philly, I think they can beat Philly if Philly especially goes on this roll where they're just having issues left and right, and they can't win on the road, too.
I think they would beat Philly for sure, and I think they would beat Philly easily.
And if they can't win on the road, you have things like that going on. I think when you look at that move, I think, you know, you still might beat Milwaukee, but I look at the Clippers move and with Morris, I'm like, that's a move that they really needed right there. It just adds more defensive depth. I mean, you have a team that can create more defensive stops, and that's what the Clippers are living off of with Doc Rivers, with two prime players. I think this is just going to kind of push them further to win a championship this year.
So people are still saying that the Clippers and the Lakers are like the prohibitive favorite, and at this point, Milwaukee's lost 7 games. So why are people not giving Milwaukee more credit? I mean, you have Giannis, who won MVP last year, and he's been better this year than he was last year.
Because they haven't been to a championship. I mean, they haven't made that
just
jump.
because we haven't seen it in the playoffs. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's the only reason why you're looking at them as a favorite on that reasoning.
But if you always look at things like, I haven't seen it before, so I'm not expecting it to happen, then you're going to be surprised every time it happens. Like, nothing happens until it happens.
But and the West is also a lot tougher, so coming out of the West, it's just coming in.
Yeah. Is the West tougher still than the East?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas would be one of the better teams in the East this year, and they're not, like, soaring through the West right now. I mean, Portland is a team that we're going to see, you know, start making a run later and seeing how they look now coming in. And they're just, Houston would be I'm not saying the East is bad. They've definitely gotten better, but I'm not going to look at the East and say, oh, man, yeah, they're better than the West now.
I still think Indiana, with getting Oladipo back, you're getting an all-star back, and they were already good without him.
Oladipo, to me, is just a very big volume shooter and a volume scorer. He's going to shoot a lot of shots up, and I think Oladipo, they don't lose much losing Oladipo. They consistently still look fine. I mean, when you look at the team, I mean, between, you know, probably Boston, Milwaukee, Miami, and I'm not big on Toronto. That their record is like I think 3 seed or whatever it is right now.
They're the 2 seed right now.
2 seed. Then I just don't look at Toronto as making that big.
They've won 15 in a row.
And like I said, I'm not going to look at them in the playoffs and think the same thing. Like I'm not going to look at Toronto. I mean, they should be able to beat obviously Brooklyn if they see them in the first round of the playoffs. But if they see a Philadelphia, I would like to see how that matchup goes. I like to see how a Miami matchup goes, or a Boston if they had to play Boston or Milwaukee.
I saw today. I saw somebody asking the question, would Kawhi have a better chance of winning a title if he was still on the Raptors? What do you think about that? I say no, just because I'd rather have Paul George than Siakam. And we knew before the season started that the Clippers weren't going to be a regular season team. You know, they're built for the playoffs. They're not, and it's 2 different type of teams. The Raptors are built for the regular season. They're going to try hard in every game, all the way up until the end of the game. And the Clippers are going to be doing load management. Same thing kind of with the Lakers, even though they've only lost 12 games. But I think as far as I'll take Paul George over everybody that's in Toronto right now.
Yeah, I would much rather. Yeah,
I still love Patrick Beverley. I still love Lou Williams. I still love Montrezl. Who else has a chance in the West? I mean, everyone's like counting out the Nuggets, but I've watched them play. They beat tough teams on the road, which I think means something in the playoffs. I think they're another type of team that's built for the regular season. But Jokic has been really good. Jamal Murray hasn't been healthy for the whole time.
The Nuggets, man, I don't see them winning a championship. But I mean, I guess if you were to pick a third team, I'm not picking Utah. I'm not picking Houston. I'm not picking Dallas.
Why not Houston?
I don't believe in Houston. Russell Westbrook will not win a championship. Being one of the leading players. James Harden has never shown up in the playoffs, especially when it matters. I refuse to believe in. I mean, they have PJ Tucker at center. There you go.
I think for the Rockets, if they play the right team, I think if they played the Clippers or the Jazz or the Thunder,
they play the Clippers, they're fucked.
I would.
Defensively, they're clamping down on them.
I'm looking at teams more like the Lakers and the Nuggets who have centers who can dominate them, or the Jazz.
I don't even care about the center domination. I'm just talking about you have a defensive unit like the Clippers. They're gonna. Russell Westbrook already takes stupid shots as it is. Now you're gonna have Paul George in your face. If not Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. If not Kawhi Leonard, Beverly. Not Beverly, Morris. I mean, you're gonna have people, and he's an easily rattled guy. Like that move to me never made sense for them. Obviously, a Damian Lillard and James Harden would make more sense. Or if John Wall's to be healthy next year and they were trading for that would make more sense.
Well, we were making fun of it earlier, but I just pulled up the standings here, and the guy you hate, John Morant, the Grizzlies are actually in 8th. They're actually in the playoffs right now if it started.
See, there we go. Who's not? Spurs.
Yeah, we did say that. Yeah, so maybe Popovich has to apologize to us. I don't know.
He won't.
DeMar DeRozan was too much to overcome with the inefficiencies of shooting the mid-range 2s, with also LaMarcus Aldridge doing the same thing.
If it was a bank shot competition, I got him.
It's tough though because it's almost like as a basketball fan, I want all these teams to make the playoffs. What do you say?
I want all these teams to make the playoffs.
Well, no, because I want to see the Mavericks. I want to see Luka in the playoffs. I want to see the Trailblazers in the playoffs. I want to see the Pelicans in the playoffs. And right now, the Blazers and the Pelicans are out of it.
Well, I don't know. Damn it.
What does he mean by that? That he's just going to shoot it from like half court?
Yeah, and then get swept. Then get swept the next round again.
The Trailblazers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got swept in the finals by the team that won the championship.
They got swept.
I understand that, but it was to a good team.
I understand, but if
they won one game, you would have had more respect for them. If you're a good team,
I'd have more. Yes, I would have more respect for any team that wins one game in a series that gets swept. Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm not killing Damian Lillard, but I'm going to kill the Trailblazers in the playoffs. They're known to get swept. It's been happened like 2 or 3 times now. Just saying, it's a lot.
I guess I would rather see them in the playoffs than. I don't
Grizzlies,
know. Like I said, I like all these teams. No.
I'd rather see Damian Lillard than Morant in the playoffs.
They're going to lose no matter what. I think the only matchup you can see an upset in is the 4-5, because right now it's Jazz Rockets. But if you have Lakers, Nuggets, and Clippers, I mean, do you think the Nuggets would get upset by the Mavericks? I'd like to see that series, but
no. As a whole, no. I'd be shocked on that one. I mean, I don't see. I would love to see the Trailblazers and Lakers matchup though, especially what's his face coming back in.
The Trailblazers?
Yeah.
You don't think they would just get swept?
No, I think they can win 1 or 2.
Just not in the conference finals, just only in the first round?
When it matters is when they're going to be like, oh man. Damn.
I thought doesn't it always matter in the playoffs?
I guess it always does. I guess.
If you lose, you go home.
That's such a dog shit way of looking at it. Like that. No, if you need a win, you can't get swept in the playoffs. And me having look at your team and thinking, oh yeah, that's a great team.
Weren't those games close?
They're the
though?
9 seed.
Yes.
Those games were all close. I'm pulling it up now.
I don't care. Pull it up. They got swept. And no, some of those games were not close. And they lost 2 of those games without Kevin Durant playing.
But which still has like 3 All-Stars on the team though.
Yeah, but like one's not really an All-Star.
Who's not an All-Star?
Draymond, he's not really an All-Star.
Is that like people calling Iguodala an All-Star at this point?
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Yeah. It's like what's his face? Taco Fog being an All-Star.
No,
He's
it's not
really
the same thing. It's not the same thing.
He's not really an All-Star.
It's not the same thing.
He's an All-Star. But
Is he an All-Star?
No, I don't think he's an All-Star. I think there's a lot of people are pushing for him to be an All-Star for whatever reason it was. All of Orlando got behind voting on that one.
As I work in a restaurant and I overhear people's conversations sometimes about
I hate
sports. And do you ever just like hear what people are saying and you're like, what the fuck are you talking
I
about?
heard one guy saying that it's ridiculous Dak Prescott hasn't been paid what he wants yet. That's one that always got me. That gets me riled up. I can't handle that.
So game 4, Warriors Trailblazers went to overtime.
Without Kevin Durant.
Right, and they lost by 2 in overtime.
They lost by 20. What is that? 20 the game before.
That's 11.
No, it's not. It's not 11.
110.
Oh, that's at 116. All right, fine, 11. They lost by 11.
They lost by 3 in game 2.
So a commanding 3-0 lead.
Well, no, game 2 they lost by 3 points. Okay, so game 1.
They lost 2 games by double digits. It was not that close of a series.
Yes, it was. One of the games went to overtime. One they lost by 3. Game one they lost by 18. That's the only blowout.
The other one, 11 points. If you lose by double digits, that's a bad loss.
It could have been a couple of free throws at the end.
Yeah, for the Blazers. Yes, you're right. And the game should have been a 15-point game, but they probably were just shooting. You gamble. Don't play this shit with me.
That's what I'm saying. I know about the free throws at the end.
So you know the Trailblazers are probably at 94 and somehow got to 99 in the last 12 seconds.
Or maybe
of the
the Warriors were at 101 and they got to 110 somehow.
Either way, the series was without Kevin Durant, they should have been able to at least win 1 game in that series. But hey, man, the man, the myth, the legend's back next year. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Some Bart Scott for you, man.
What else do we got? Anything else?
Tom Brady to the Cowboys.
Okay, yeah. So you want to do a little bit of the NFL, what quarterbacks are going where and everything like that. I said before the podcast that Tom Brady's the betting favorite to go back to New England, and you pretty much just shit on it and said that you don't care if he's the betting favorite to go back to New England. So you say he's going where?
Realistically, I don't think he. I mean, I just don't see it happening in Dallas. It would be too much of a great
You
move
said
for us.
Dallas. You did send in the group chat a Tom Brady in a Cowboys uniform wearing the number 12. And Stretch said what
that was
number?
Number 9. That was I was like,
disrespect.
That's kind of disrespectful right there. Like, I am. Couldn't even give the guy number 6 or something. You know, you gave him 9. But no, I mean,
is number 12 retired by the Cowboys? Or
I
something?
believe it is. I mean,
forgive my
They
ignorance.
don't retire numbers. It's out of circulation.
Yeah, I mean,
What the fuck does that mean?
They don't retire numbers. They just take them out of circulation.
We don't put Super Bowl winning
don't know what
coaches
that-
in the Ring of Honor, and we don't retire
Yeah,
numbers.
Jimmy Johnson is not in the Ring of Honor, yeah, of course. But Tony Romo is.
But what I was going to say is, you know what? There's no team that's better than him than Dallas. The O-line's there, the running back's there, the receiving weapons are there.
I would rather have Dak
is-
Prescott than Tony Romo next year.
I want a reason why. Because here's my biggest issue that you're saying.
Because I think he's better.
Yeah, but you say this, but here's my problem. Did you not watch him against Philly? Did you not watch him against Minnesota? I mean, this guy against New Orleans, against Green Bay.
Did you watch Tom Brady against Tennessee?
Yes, he was literally, who was he throwing to? They were literally trying to make Julian Edelman a decoy the whole game.
So who would he be throwing to in Dallas in this theoretical? Amari Cooper?
Yes, he's better than Julian Edelman.
I mean,
No, don't shrug your shoulders. That's such dog. That's what the fuck. No, don't shrug your shoulders. Julian Edelman, Amari Cooper. A year before, everyone was blowing Amari because we made the playoffs once we got him. I don't want to hear that. Shrugging your shoulders to Amari and Edelman. Michael Gallup's better than
Amari
Edelman.
Cooper at this point, Tom Brady is not going to be throwing it 40 yards down the field.
He doesn't have to. Amari. That's Michael Gallup's role. Amari's is.
But you're talking about not wanting to pay Dak. You want to pay Amari Cooper to be a slot receiver for Tom Brady?
Who? No, he wouldn't be a slot receiver. He'd still be an X. His routes you don't have to run him deep. He's a separation guy anyways. He gets off on quick routes and runs. Don't forget when Dak was throwing to Amari scoring these touchdowns, it's not like he was throwing them deep. He was breaking tackles, off separation, and literally taking off yards after catch. I mean, Dak is a very, and I hate when people talk about Dak Prescott being an elite quarterback because
I didn't say he was elite.
No.
I just said he's better than Tom Brady at this point in his career.
I just don't see how, though, because Dak couldn't win.
He can move around in the pocket and maybe elude a pass rush if it gets anywhere near him.
Tom just gets rid of the ball within 2.5 seconds. He doesn't hold on the ball too long.
But Dak can extend plays and stuff like that. In today's NFL, if you don't, all you have to do is rush 4 or maybe blitz 1 against Brady. And he can't get away from any pressure at all.
Our offensive line is also a lot better than New England's.
You're also assuming that coming in with a rookie head coach that he's going to have the same rapport that he has with Bill Belichick and whatever receivers that he has in that offense.
Yeah, but we don't have a rookie head coach. We have Mike McCarthy. He's one of the more respected head coaches of quarterbacks.
Not a rookie a first-year head coach with a new system.
Yeah, but he's also with, Mike McCarthy, there's not a coach with more quarterback under him.
But one of the benefits of Tom Brady in New England that I've talked about before is his ability to be in the same system forever and go back and say, hey, remember that play from 4 years ago? Let's run that after halftime. It's not going to be the same thing in a new system with a head coach he's never worked with before, with receivers he's never worked with before, in a place he's never been before.
These are literally the best receivers he'd work with since having Randy Moss. Like his receiving core has never been a good receiving core.
Edelman was pretty good before.
Wes Welker was better than Edelman ever was.
I don't know. Not when
you have a computer right there. You have a computer right there. Feel free to check that one out, man. Like that,
are you looking up stats or like Edelman?
I can look up.
And if we go by stats from last year,
Edelman is.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go off stats off last year compared to any of Wes Welker's top years.
Edelman is known.
about just Dak versus Tom Brady.
Oh, Dak versus Tom Brady. Yeah, you can go off last year, but don't discount how much garbage time was in there. Green Bay, how much garbage time? The Jets.
Anytime we say stats, though, you just say garbage time, and I know you hate Dak Prescott.
Because I actually watched the games, though. That's a problem. Like, did you watch?
All I do is watch games on
Sunday. So you watched the Cowboys games?
I watched all the games.
So no, you didn't, because the Jets game. Did he beat the Jets? No. Did Tom Brady beat the Jets twice? Yes. Who won more games, Tom or Dak? Who had a better team, Tom or Dak?
Right, but then before you were saying that it's all because of their schedule being shitty, and now you're saying that the schedule.
I literally said our schedules were both very bad in the beginning. That has not a thing to do with.
But the only reason they
won
won those games is because of Tom Brady and not because of the rest of the team. Because the Cowboys' defense was not as good as the Patriots' defense.
But our offense was light years better. We had the number 2. We had the number 2.
But the quarterback has nothing to do with the offense being good.
I'm not saying the quarterback has nothing to do with it, but I'm going to say this: a more experienced quarterback and quarterback who's a proven winner is a better choice than a guy whose his best year was quote unquote this year, but they still won 8-8. I'm not buying into the Matthew Stafford hype, like other teams have before, the Jimmy Garoppolo hype. I'm not buying into these hypes with guys. Like, you have to build a lot around him. You're not going to pay a guy $38 million if he's going to go 8-8. You're not. It makes no sense.
How much are you going to have to pay Tom Brady then?
32. It's already been talked about. He wants 30 to 32 million. That's what his team.
So you'd rather pay
$6 million less a year for another weapon and adding Robert Quinn back? Yes. Robert Quinn got 12.5 sacks.
Robert Quinn.
12.5 sacks.
This is career. Let me see. I'm trying to pull it up. Sorry, I need a second here.
You're just looking at Dak this year. Like I said, he has 1 year where we're looking at it.
Almost 5,000 yards. I know you're going to say that all those were garbage time. 30 touchdowns.
I'm not going to say all of it is garbage time, but you said you watched the game, correct?
Yes.
How many Cowboys games did you watch?
All of them. My roommate's a Cowboys fan.
So if you watch all of them, then your roommate's a Dak guy, so he's going to be very biased on him as well.
Well, he's not like coloring my opinion.
I understand that, but when you guys are watching,
I'm not sure if I'm in on Dak, and he's like, yeah, I'm in on Dak.
But I'm also saying clear to you guys that you have to understand that when you're watching the game, like the Packers game, he really threw 2 interceptions to start the game off.
But none of the Tom Brady stats are garbage time, but all the Dak stats are garbage time.
Not a lot of. How many Patriot games really went to garbage time? Not many. The Houston game?
And I would have to pull it up. I would have to look at it, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, I could name you games just right off the rip that were garbage time for Dak, that he was looking at. Yeah, you look great against the Redskins.
But touchdowns, I could see where you say yards and completions are garbage time, but touchdowns are...
Look at him on the road. He's a problem on the road, too.
Touchdowns was his best last year.
Yeah, it was.
30 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Yes.
I know that's not Jameis Winston numbers, but he had... Without the picks, and then 30 touchdowns, 11 picks, almost 5,000 yards.
We're just like I said. You're not going to look at his team and say it's not better than his offense is just night and day better than New England's offense. Zeke Elliott's better weapon than anything Tom Brady has weapon-wise on that team, let alone of Amari Cooper, let alone of Randall Cobb, let alone of... come on.
I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I pulled up Pro Football Reference, and it puts up his full name, and it says his nicknames too. It says Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Nicknames.
Edward?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Nicknames: TB12, Tom Terrific, Touchdown Tom, Goat.
Goat in all caps.
The Pharaoh? What is that? Comeback Kid or Sir?
I remember Comeback Kid. Comeback Kid was him when he was really young.
Where the fuck did these go? The Pharaoh?
I don't remember the Pharaoh.
I'm gonna start calling him the Pharaoh, but I don't know where
That's
that.
sacrilegious right there, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't. So 24 touchdowns, so 6 fewer touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and about 1,000 less yards.
Again, like I said, look at the weapons. I don't have to say the same thing over and over. It's just very loud and clear. Like I said, when Julian Edelman is your best weapon, that's a problem. He would be our 4th best weapon on our team. Like, I mean, that's where he would rank in our team of
Really?
weapons.
I would rather have Julian Edelman right now than Michael Gallup.
You can look at those numbers if you like. Feel free.
I don't want to look more things up.
I mean, feel free. I'm just telling. I mean, like I said, and also number one thing on top of this, on top of just being a better team, there's no better brand, nothing better for his brand than being in Dallas. There's nothing better for his brand than being in Dallas.
So, other than the fact that you would prefer to have him there, do you think it's even a possibility?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
I don't know what the betting odds are for that, but I would
Plus 700.
I would see him. Is that
Yeah,
different? I mean, is that better or worse than the odds for him to go to Vegas?
Him going to Vegas is like a plus 150 right now.
Then the Patriots are minus something. Then
Yeah, it's like him going to Vegas. They think is like almost it's going to be the biggest one to go to next. But when you look at the overall option, the thing is they have to get away with.
So Edelman in 2019 was 100 catches for 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. I'll look up Gallup real quick because you said that he would be the 4th best option.
He would, man. 4th best weapon. Ezekiel Elliott's in that weaponry.
Okay, yeah. Well, nobody's gonna. Zeke is better. Zeke and Amari are both better than anybody
Yeah.
that was on the Patriots. But I'm not. I won't give you Gallup.
I'm sorry, man. You gotta check out Gallup, man. Gallup can play.
I know he could play, but he's a number 2 receiver. Edelman is a lower end number 1, but he's a number 1 receiver.
By lower end, you mean like 31, right?
No.
You have to, because you have to. Because the only one they can think of, okay.
So Gallup is 66 catch. Okay, well it's about the same yards, but it's 66 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns.
And he can go up and get it. Edelman ain't going up to get anything, man.
Well, you have to be able to get up to go up.
Yeah, I'm saying this man ain't getting up to get nothing.
Come on, we're talking about
Yeah.
a white.
Oh, why?
What I like to call a white.
Listen, I'm not killing Edelman's career. Julian Pedelman was, I will say that.
Pedelman, what does that mean?
Oh, Pedelman, man. It's Julian Pedelman. It's a PED.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Pedelman, I have nothing against him. It's just as a whole, man, when that's your best weapon, good luck. He's 5'9".
Good luck. They made it to the playoffs. That's more than the Cowboys did. It's all because of Tom Brady and all against Dak Prescott?
Well, I'm just saying Tom Brady.
Doesn't have anything to do with coaching?
Did Tom Brady beat the Jets?
You don't think
Did Tom Brady beat the Bills?
You don't think
did he beat the Bills?
You don't think Dak Prescott? Well, the Bills are a playoff team. You don't think that
Dak Prescott beat the Bills or Jets?
You don't
and
think
Tom beat them twice.
You don't
each.
think
They're 4-0 against them.
You don't think Dak Prescott was held back at all by the fact that he had Jason Garrett and Tom Brady has a guy he's worked with his whole career?
I think he was held back against the Saints when he couldn't score a touchdown. I think he was held back against the Packers when he threw 2 interceptions off rip.
But you don't think it has anything to do with coaching? You don't give any credence to having Bill Belichick compared to having Jason Garrett?
I think coaching is what's going to win you in the playoffs. I think with Philly being the way they were, we should have walked in the playoffs. We lost to the Bears, okay? He looked bad against the Bears defense this year, and everyone looked good against the Bears defense.
But you fired your coach because he was not good, and Dak's had that guy for his whole career.
And you know what? And that should have been done a couple years earlier. So you know what? No matter who doesn't agree with it, I
think everyone agrees with it.
No, not our friend, not our man, good old Brett.
Yeah.
But I will say when you watch, like I said, if you're gonna tie in $38 million in a player, make sure he's worth it. You don't tie. There's more leverage than any. Name me a better time for leverage. You tell a guy like, hey, if you don't come here, we're gonna sign Tom Brady. That's literally what you can go after.
Well, so Chase said that you can't pay Tom Brady and have the same Cowboys team, but you can also say the same thing about Dak. So.
Yeah, you can. That's wrong. Actually, yeah, you can. Dak wants more money.
No. I'm saying you would say the same thing about Dak. That's what I meant to say.
Oh yeah.
If you had, we're not talking about paying the guys. Whether you have to pay them the same or not.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna have to get rid of some guys. So
well, who do we have to get rid of? Because that's not true. We can still work with what we have. We have to have Byron Jones take 15 instead of 17 million, as well as Amari Cooper. That's $4 million difference. We pay Tom Brady 32 million. That's $6 million difference what Dak wants.
So he also said you can't compare. Dak hasn't been paid yet, so the Cowboys have more talent. But Tom Brady is not making top quarterback money right now. So I would disagree with that and say that the Patriots spread their money around differently than the Cowboys have. The Cowboys are more top heavy as far as paying top end talent. the Patriots go after more like mid-level veteran guys.
Yeah.
Where the money is spread around.
But where we draft, we're very similar. Our Pro Bowls and All Pros are actually very consistent up there with them. There's not a big difference between those two. Our drafting around, when you look at Tom doesn't want 38 like Dak wants 38. Tom wants 30, 32.
It's also not that big of a difference.
It is though. $6 million is a difference a year because that's what keeps Byron Jones and Amari Cooper on the team and Robert Quinn. You can't tell me that's not a big difference. We can only sign, if we sign Dak to that much money, we're not going to be able to keep Amari or Byron. That's going to be a problem. We need both of them. You can't lose both those guys. I think it's insane, like I said, for anyone, if you're going to talk about the salary cap with this one, it makes more sense for Dallas to go with Tom because it's less money with a quarterback who knows how to win, better weapons, better O-line, and I hate to say it, Mike McCarthy doesn't have to try to groom him. Mike McCarthy can draft someone this year, groom him under Tom, and let Tom be Tom.
So what offhand is Dak's, so would you, because Dak's not a free agent, so would you trade him?
You have to franchise. You have to do it.
So he's going to be behind Tom Brady?
What's up?
So he's going to be on the same team as Tom Brady?
No, he'd have to be franchised and then trade like Jadeveon was last year. So he had tagged and traded.
I don't know. I just don't even think this is a real possibility, but you think that it's a real possibility.
Oh yeah, I mean if Dallas has no reason not to play the leverage on this. It's their second option can literally be Tom Brady if they don't have Dak.
So where's Dak going then, and what are you getting for him?
If I was Dallas, my number one place I'd trade Dak to would be the Chargers because they're trying to win right away. They have a draft pick to send us for us to draft someone, and Anthony Lynn's on a hot seat.
And what
now.
What do you think you'd get back for him?
You get a first round pick for him. You probably get a first and a third, and that's being modest. I mean, the guy has I'm not killing Dak.
That's what you are though. But.
No, I'm just being realistic. He's not worth $38 million. For my take on for a Cowboys fan, I don't think you should be paid that. Chargers, do what the hell you want. You guys don't even care about football out there. Your stand, say it. Pay whatever you want. But Anthony Lynn's on a hot seat. He needs to have someone to compete right away. Phillip isn't coming. Will he have time to groom a quarterback? No, he's black. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it's true though. He's not going to get 3 years with Herbert.
If he has another bat, well, the only thing about that is if you draft a quarterback, then you're usually tied to that guy and you get a little bit of time.
Steve Wilkes thought it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't work. I mean, it does not happen. It's the NFL, so you have 2 years to almost make a difference. And Lynn's
I think there's a lot of teams out there that
would
want Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah. I think Cincinnati may even want him, but not for the first overall pick. I think they could go with Burrow, realistically.
Well, they're also not a team that, like we've said in the past, cares about winning and wants to pay a lot of money for guys.
In fact, I mean, you could go after a team,
and they're gonna draft Joe Burrow.
You could trade him to Tampa, and you can get their pick and trade both first round picks over to someone like Detroit who has the third pick, and you can jump ahead of Miami and look at Tua and have Tua sit for a year. And there's a lot of possibilities of getting rid of Dak Prescott. There are teams that need a quarterback and look at Dak Prescott and they'll look at the numbers. But there's a bit, like I said, when you look at his splits, you look at his road splits, you look at his fourth quarter splits, you look at when he's behind, those splits, they're not, of course his numbers are up on the throwing behind, but his turnovers are up. It's just he doesn't look like he's great in big moments. And I can't look at you and tell you a game where I was like, wow, he looked great. Because against Philly last year, I mean, Amari had 3 touchdowns. Amari was out there making the difference. It's not like Dak's ever gone out there, and that's my big thing
But Dak
too.
was throwing in the ball, though.
I get it, but when you're doing yards after catch, it's kind of like Kurt Warner throwing to Larry Fitzgerald. Just throw it up.
Fuck.
Yeah, just throw it up, man. Just throw a slant around, let him break free, and see what happens. It's like I said, if you put him on any other team in the NFL, how much better do they really get? Does he make the Chargers an immediate playoff contender? No, not with Kansas City out there.
Well, that's just because it's against Kansas City. I think at this point,
let's go down the divisional list though. The Colts is a possibility, but I wouldn't want to trade him to the Colts.
I think the Colts are going to stick with Brissett.
I think they should.
I think they like Brissett. I think they're going to stick with Brissett.
I think New England is going to end up having, what's-his-face, though, is Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater and New England's going to be an amazing fit if those two can make that work. Because Teddy's very good with systems. He's a smart quarterback. And if you look at Bill Belichick, you look at what Teddy's been with. I mean, when he was with Zimmer, when he was with Sean Payton, him being under smart coaches and him being a smart player, I think Teddy in New England makes the most sense if they can't retain Tom.
I mean, they should have just traded for Mookie Betts. And the Patriots can just have
man.
Mookie Betts then. If you're looking for an arm.
Slinging the rock. You can't sling the rock, man. Tommy's like 5'9", but he can sling the rock a little bit.
But Mookie Betts obviously is not in the NFL, and obviously Rob thinks that Dak Prescott's not worthy of Bundesliga, so there you go.
Bundesliga needs too much money.
Thank you, guys.